Good day. Welcome to my channel. This is Erwin Angelo Vibaduria, your math teacher. In this video lesson, we will be discussing simple interest. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to illustrate simple interest, compute the amount of interest, maturity or future value, present value, rate, and term. Solve problems involving simple interest. Now, before we start our discussion, let's review first some of the terminologies of business mathematics. Number one is principal amount. It is denoted by uppercase letter P, and it refers to the amount of money borrowed or invested. Second is the amount of interest and denoted by uppercase letter I. This refers to the gain or profit. It is the amount paid for the use of money. The third is interest rate, denoted by lowercase letter r and refers to an annual rate in percent. This is the rate charged by the lender or rate of increase in an investment. Term is denoted by lowercase letter t and refers to the time in years when the money is borrowed or invested. The last one is the future value and denoted by uppercase letter F. Refers to the total amount of money after the term. This is the sum of the principal amount and the amount of interest. Now let us start our discussion by introducing the different formulas of simple interest. The first formula of simple interest is I equal to PRT, where I is the amount of interest and P is the principal amount, R is the rate, and T is the term. Multiplying them will construct, multiplying PR and T will give us the amount of interest. Now the second formula is that according to our future value or maturity value denoted by F, we have it is the sum of the principal amount and the interest. So this is our second formula. This is the first one. Now for the third one, let's derive the third formula when the interest is not given. So in order to do that, let's manipulate our second formula, that is F equal to P plus I. We know that I, from our first formula, that it is equal to PRT. So I can substitute PRT from our I here. Applying the common factor on our right side, we will be having P times 1 plus RT. So this is our third formula. So we have three formulas of simple interest. Number one is I equal to PRT. Number two is F equal to P plus I. And the third one is F equal to P times 1 plus RT. The difference between 2 and 3 is that in our second formula, number 2, the interest is given but the rate and time are not given. For our formula number 3, the interest is not given but we have the value of R, the rate, and the time. Okay, so let's start our discussion by taking up these 5 examples. So for example, number 1, what is the interest of a loan amounting to 50,000 pesos with 4% annual simple interest rate for 3 years? So in this case, we will be using the formula of simple interest, that is I equal to PRT, where I is the amount of interest, P is the principal amount, R is the annual rate, and T is the number of years or the duration of the loan. Well, in this case, we are looking for the value of I. Therefore, from the given values of the item, the principal amount is already equal to 50,000 pesos to be multiplied by 4%, which is also known as 0.04 in decimal form. And the term is 3 years. Well, in this case, multiplying these numbers will give us, using our calculator, so we have 50,000 times 0.04 times 3. That is 6,000 pesos is the interest. That's the answer for item number 1. We're just looking for the amount of interest. What is the interest? Okay. So next, let's proceed to item number 2. Show that the maturity value of an investment of 35,000 pesos is 38,500 pesos. If the investment term is 5 years with an annual simple interest rate of 2%, find the actual amount of interest. So let's check if our maturity value will become 38,500. Therefore, the formula we will be using is the second formula, that is F equal to P times 1 plus RT, which was derived from the first formula of the future value, which is the sum of the principal and the interest. Now in this case, we have F is equal to our principal amount is 35,000 pesos to be multiplied by 1 plus our rate is 2%, that is also known as 0.02 times 5 years. So let's check if our future value will become 38,500. So we have here 35,000 is to be multiplied by, so I will be calculating first the numbers inside the quantity so that there will be no confusing factor when we calculate the numbers. So we have 5 times 0.02 equals, and then we have to add plus 1, and we have to multiply this by 35,000 pesos. So times 35,000, the answer is 38,500 pesos. Therefore, we have already the proof that the future value will become, or the maturity value will become 38,500. From that same question, we are asked to determine the actual amount of interest. Therefore, since we already have the principal amount and the future value, we can use the first formula that the future value is equal to the sum of the principal amount and the interest. Since the principal amount is equal to 35,000 pesos, we have to add plus I, and on our left side of the equation is 38,500. So by adding negative 35,000 both sides of the equation, that will become 38,500 minus 35,000 plus equal to I. Therefore, subtracting these numbers will give us 3,500 pesos as the amount of interest. Okay. Now let's proceed to item number 3. So from item number 3, we are asked for, the question is asking for the term. How long would it take the principal amount to triple if the annual simple interest rate is 3%? So we have to look for the value of t, wherein the principal amount will become, the future value will become triple of the principal. Well, for number 3, we know that the principal amount is equal to P, and that F is equal to 3 times of P. That's triple of the original amount or the principal amount. So we will be using the formula of future value, the second formula, that is F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Well, in this case, the future value is equal to 3 times of the principal, and the principal will be the same as the principal amount. And then 1 plus our rate is 0.03 to be multiplied by t. T is what we are looking for. Okay, so we have to isolate t later on. And then, in this equation, we have to cancel out p, which is common to both sides of the equation. So the remaining equation will become 3 equal to 1 plus 0.03 t. And then we have to add negative 1 to both sides of the equation. It will become 3 minus 1 equal to 0.03 t. So we have 2 is equal to 0.03 t. And then we have to multiply both sides of the equation by 1 over 0.03, or we can cross multiply the number downward here, the numerical coefficient of t, or I should say 1 over 0.03 to both sides of the equation. So this will be cancelled out. 1 times t here is the same as t. And then we have on the left side of the equation is 2 over 0.03. So let's check the value using our calculator. That is the same as 2 divided by 0.03. That is 66. Yeah, 66.67. That's 66.67. 67 years. Okay. So that's for item 1 to 3. Now let's proceed to item number 4 and 5. So let me just remove this. So for item number 4, what rate in percent will the maturity value becomes quadruple of the principal amount for 5 years in simple interest? So in this case, our maturity value F for number 4 is 4 times of the principal, with our principal equal to P. We are looking for the rate. And given the term is 5 years. So let's use a formula, the second formula again. So we have F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. So we have F equal to 4P equal to P times 1 plus R to be multiplied by 5, which is our term. So P will be cancelled out. The remaining equation will be 4 equal to 1 plus 5R. We add negative 1 both sides. It will become 4 minus 1 equal to 5R. This is 3 equal to 5R, or multiplying both sides by 1 over 5 will give us R equal to 3 over 5, which is also equal to, in decimal form, that's 3 divided by 5 equal to 0.6. So we have 0.6. And then we have to convert this into percentage because the question is what rate in percent. Moving to decimal, moving the decimal point twice to right direction, it will become 60%. That's 60%. Okay, so we will be having 60% in order to make the maturity value as 4 times as the given principal amount that we have for 5 years. That's 4 times of the principal amount. Now we have number 5. Our number 5 is, let me just remove the remaining solution. So for number 5, How much money was invested for 6 years if the future value is 98,000 pesos under an annual simple interest rate of 2.5%? So we are looking for the principal amount given that the future value is there as 98,000 pesos from a term using a term of 6 years and a simple interest rate of 2.5%. So let's use the second formula of the future value. I think this is also applicable here. So we have F is 98,000 pesos and we are looking for the principal amount P to be multiplied by 1 plus our R is 2.5% or also known as 0.025 to be multiplied by T or 6 years. Well, in this case, we have to isolate the variable P so that we can solve it. Doing that is the same as that kind of procedure is the same as multiplying the reciprocal of the number beside P, the reciprocal of the number beside P. So in this case, I can say that I can multiply this by 1 over 1 plus 0.025 times 6, both sides of the equation. Or in another way, we can divide both sides of the equation by 1 plus 0.025 times 6. Both sides. So we have 1 plus 0.025 times 6. Yeah. So this will become cancelled out. So P is equal to 98,000 over 1 plus 0.025 times 6. Okay, so let's use our calculator. Our 98,000 will be as is in our numerator. So let's have our calculator. So let's solve the denominator. The numerator is still 98,000. So our denominator is 6 times 0.025 equals, and we have to add 1. So the denominator is equal to 1.15. So we have to divide this in order to get the principal amount. So we have 98,000 divided by 1.15. That is, our principal amount is 85,217.39 into decimal places. 85,217.39 pesos into decimal places. Okay, so these are these are just our these items are our example in simple interest. Now, if you are going to have your practice, just take the items on the book. At least you have this background in order to solve the simple interest, the rate, the principal amount, and the term of simple interest. Now, it is your time to make a little practice. Answer the following 5 items on the screen and write your answer in our comment box below. Okay, I hope you learned so much in our discussion of simple interest. Now, before I end this video lesson, let me give you a real life encouragement. If someone has no interest in you, it's okay, don't bother. Your rate is much higher than that someone. So cheer up, head high, and be confident because in life, we cannot please everybody. With that, have a great day and smile!